With the ability to obtain infinite amounts of ability points in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, it seems kind of wasted that once you're done with all of the masteries as well as the regular abilities, that you are just at a loss, that all those ability points basically go to waste. There is nothing to spend them on past all of the masteries and all the ability points. And for this reason, I don't think Ubisoft thought this through. I'm Darkstrider the YouTube Assassin, and I want to lay out some ideas of what they should do in the next game with regards to XP. Now, we all know how painful the grind was in AC Odyssey. It was just phenomenal. It was brutal. As you could see, just to get another experience point, even with the XP boost at 50%, I would need almost 2.5 million XP to get to the next level, and that is no small feat. Obviously, when you're in earlier stages, it's really not going to be that much, but it is brutal. If you wanted to do a solid build, you would need at least, I would say, at least 30, at least 30 ability points, and then just a bunch of mastery points. So, like, they really did that to keep you playing in the game. There are so many different ways of doing this. So this is my OP file, and I just continuously gain ability points. I'm just doing whatever randomly, and I just constantly obtain points. But the thing is that, like, you're so limited here. Uh, we could only fill out exactly what it says here: 112 ability points, which you see here. And then there was 1,640 ability points that could be allocated to masteries. Once you do that, there is no more use for any of the ability points. And that's really sad because technically you could create an actual god. You can become a god if they would have allowed you to put those ability points in these masteries. And like, maybe that's not ideal. Maybe you don't want to play OP. Some people really don't want to. They would prefer to, just test their skills and do certain things. That's why, like I tell you, I have several different files. This is my OP file. I have other files where, like, it's just basic and everything. I've got maybe like 200 ability points or something along those lines. But that was a lot of work. That was a lot of grinding. And if you think about it, if we were able to, like, put, like, let's say I could put this to 100%, 110% or something like that, like, you would become an absolute god. And I mean, maybe that wouldn't be a lot of fun in the way of, like, you could one shot everything even on, like, Nightmare or something like that. But, for some people, the challenge is that. And honestly, in my opinion, it would have made Ubisoft, come up with bigger challenges for us to come across. And I think that would have actually kept this game going all the way to the end of 2020, which is when we're supposed to get the new Assassin's Creed game. Right now, everybody who played this day one, most likely they're done with it. Some people were done with it before they even completed the DLC. The grind got to them. So now, what is there left to do in this game? There's nothing left to do. I'm giving you guys, like, conspiracy videos and, like, just, topic videos like this one. And of course, the weekly reset. And I'll be doing, like, more build videos. But the thing is that there really isn't much left to do here for those who have been there day one. So how do you get your Assassin's Creed fix? You either play the older games, you replay this one, or you play something else until this, the next Assassin's Creed comes out. And in those cases, you kind of, like, lose interest. You kind of lose your audience and everything, which is what they wanted to keep. They wanted to keep you going, and they really did keep us going for the past year, but they stopped. And unless you were going to give us new DLC, a season two, our own way of working with the story creator mode, the game is going to be dead. It's only going to be alive to those who are just picking it up or have picked it up in the past couple of months. And they'll be able to see these videos and get help. But at the same time, those who've already been here, we've got nothing to do. Now, when compared to Assassin's Creed Origins, which is the predecessor of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, we see that they had a different sort of method and technique for using ability points. Now, you could obtain all of these items that are listed. The thing is that you had to go from between 1 and 3 ability points in order to obtain any of these things. And then there weren't levels like there are in Odyssey, which a lot of people will argue is better. For instance, here we have the overpower technique, and the ability to level it up 3 times. It does make it a little more powerful, which is awesome. Now, this actually did have a lot of really wild things that like they put in and everything. Some of the things actually became abilities that Bayek could normally use. The abilities became something that Cassandra could use, and some of these things needed to be abilities here that automatically happened in Odyssey. So there was some changes and everything, some for the better, some were just kind of weird or awkward. Um, all in all, Odyssey did have the better system as far as like what you do with like the points and abilities, the engravings and everything. That was all pretty cool. The thing is that here there was no waste. If we had an XP glitch in Origins, which at one point we kind of did with the Heka chest trick, where you could just gain infinite XP and infinite gear, items and stuff like that. So like, you would go to Rita, you would have a chance to either get one of these items or even, like a regular rare. And, it was just, it was a wild time, for Origins. Origins really did have like a really wild sort of flair to it. It did have the crafting. There were skins for, like the actual bird. You could make changes to your character. You could give him, like, you could take off his hood. You could put on, like a beard. You could give him hair, mix and match that way, leave him like that. It was all wild. So there were a lot of differences between the two. But most notably, I feel like Origins did not give you waste. As you can see, my warrior mastery, okay, we only had 3 masteries here. Excuse me. Wasn't like Odyssey where there were several different masteries, like almost like 20 or something per, warrior, assassin, and hunter. Here you had seer, hunter, and warrior. Seer was basically, I guess this would be like the hunt. Well, no, not exactly the hunter stuff, but it wasn't assassin stuff either. It was a lot of like medicine stuff and whatnot. Poison, fire, the ability to tame animals and things like that. So that's what this part of the tree was. Now, all these masteries, you could actually continuously gain ability points and put it into these things. So now, as you see, passive, increase the damage of all your melee attacks by an additional 1%. So right now, I'm like at plus 130% right here. And I just have to use 1 ability point in order to like gain that. And then over in Seer, you increase the damage of all your tools by an additional 1%, which is, like the poison darts, the fire bombs, fire, flesh decay, which, caused poison. You would stab a body with the poison and it would release a cloud and everything. And it was really cool. You could literally take out an entire town by just killing one body and stabbing it with the flesh decay. And that was another way of ranking up back in the day when this game came out. You could do that, leave it, go to sleep, wake up the next morning, and the entire town that you had started to poison just completely died. They were all dead, all because of the poison. And you just had amazing amounts of ability points and levels and whatnot. So it was pretty wild. It was crazy. And then we go over to Hunter. So increase the damage of all your bows by an additional 1%. And you know the bows actually had their own powers and whatnot. They had their own damage. So as you can see, this one does 1,948 damage per second. It's not like we had over in Odyssey. And the max level was 55 if you had all the DLCs. So you couldn't go beyond that. You couldn't hit level 99. But the crazy thing is, though, that like you would have the ability to gain many more ability points and just add to everything here. So now the developers, they actually stated, I forget which one it was, he said he wanted to see somebody one-shot a war elephant, which is the most powerful creature in this game at that time. A war elephant with one punch bare-fisted, which would have been absolutely amazing. And somebody actually did it. They did it with a hack. They took all the ability points and, they put it into warrior. It was like amazing. So now, just imagine if I had all those ability points from Odyssey and I was able to put it here. I could put like 2,000 here. I could put like another, like remainder between these two, Hunter and Seer, and probably like do some like serious damage. I've had friends who actually have constantly done this, and they have enough ability points where they could shoot one arrow at one of the gods and kill it instantaneously. I mean, that's incredible. To me, that probably would have kept us in the game a little longer if we were able to like do stuff like that. Right now, I only log into the game just so that I can go and obtain, just information for you guys, like giving you guys details and everything like that, which is the same reason that I do this. But the thing is that in Origins, you could beat the game. It takes 6 hours to beat the entire game. All right, doing the main mission constraints. You could beat the game, then you could start a game over or a new game plus, and have all these ability points and just keep going. So like, if I complete this game right now, and then I want to do a video on it, and I decide to do a new game plus, all those ability points are fair game, and I'm gaining way more that, like I had. It's just a constant. We could just keep going with it instead of having a whole bunch of ability points stacked and nothing to do with them. Again, you guys hear me say this in the videos a lot. Odyssey had a lot of missed opportunities, and I think that that's one of them. Now, I'm not going to argue or speculate on which of the two games had the better like skill tree system. A lot of people have already voiced their opinion, and they do believe that Odyssey had the better skill tree. And it does. I mean, like, let's just review this stuff. If you look at it, you have the abilities, and then you get to upgrade the said abilities. Of course, you have to upgrade the spear first, and then in upgrading the spear, you can put a lot of these things to rank 3, which only increases their effectiveness. So, I mean, that's pretty big. It's a great idea. I like it a lot. It really, it does suit the needs. Plus, the DLC gave us the option to alter them. So, like we'll take a Bull Rush, for instance. Let's revert it back to its original. This is the original. And you can see that, quickly rush through enemies, knock them down. 400% warrior damage, finishes with a heavy smash attack, and that's all good. We were able to enhance them through the DLCs, and now it's different. Ares Bull Charge. Summon a bull that charges through enemies and knocks them down, dealing 400% warrior damage. which is absolutely incredible. Like you have way more opportunity to do way more damage. It's still the same thing where it's 400% warrior damage, but the thing is that, uh, this one has just the one. I believe this one sends a bunch. And the thing is, it also catches fire. So it does that extra damage. Over here, Ares Madness, this is what it is. Originally, it's Battle Cry of Ares. In a fit of godly rage, all attacks inflicted 50% more damage for 20 seconds. During this time, all enemy attacks are non-lethal. Every hit received boosts attack damage. When you power it up, uh, you have the full power of the Unbroken Spear for 10 seconds. Deal 35% assassin damage. All enemy attacks are non-lethal, just like the original. All other abilities are unavailable, but you're able to do a lot of damage. This thing one-shots. It's like a beast. It's crazy. So, they had the better ideas in Odyssey, which was good. The thing is that, wasted opportunity where we have these ability points. There is no need for you to want to exceed and excel beyond what you already have. Now, as I said before, I have all 112 ability points allocated to all the items. There aren't 112 abilities, obviously. They're all level 3. Okay? The ones that can be level 3 are level 3, which is pretty much every single one of them except for this assassin mode here. But I also have 1,640 ability points on the masteries. Now, it would have been way cooler, like I said earlier, if they allowed us to put the points in these masteries. All right? I think that it would have been absolutely amazing to swing a weapon and do 5,000% damage to something. That would have been cool. It's a real limit pusher in that case. It's one of those things, like you create an OP file. A lot of people were upset in Origins, well, why would you want to be OP? That's stupid. Why would you want to do that? Some people, they want to push the envelope. It's just like, and I use this example a lot, Goku from Dragon Ball Z. He's constantly pushing himself to get stronger. Dragon Ball Z would be a really boring series if he just got beat up, went out, got powerful enough to beat the bad guy, and then just, had this battle, beat the bad guy, and that was it. And then go to the next season. When you see that series, he, is constantly training. He demolishes enemies. He doesn't just beat the bad guy. He just, levels the dude. And, it's absolutely amazing. It makes it like an epic thing. Then the bad guy obviously, summons more power, back and forth, blah, blah, blah. It's interesting. So for some people, that's where the journey is. It's interesting to see that. So, that's the only reason why I would want to continuously put those abilities. Now, I think we could all agree that in the next game, we really cannot see this kind of grind, if not for glitches and exploits and everything, a lot of us would not have gotten to this point. Okay? And Ubisoft really did not want us to get to this point. They wanted us to play it, just straight. But the thing is that what they didn't understand is that, nobody would have an OP file at that point. People would get bored of the game eventually. You would never truly have complete mastery, and you would never find all these crazy things to do with this stuff. Now, if we went by Origin's example, and I was able to allocate this 2,376, which is going to continue to grow because I'm going to keep doing videos and whatnot. If we were able to allocate this to the masteries, then my character would have been like completely insane. My character would have been, just able to not just one shot anything, one shot a god. Maybe that would have pushed Ubisoft to create more content to challenge us. We've talked about we've talked about adding like a Kraken or like the Titans or anything, like a lot of other Greek mythology and stuff like that, but they just went with like the Isu kind of thing. I mean, I think it would have been cool to actually go and battle a Kraken on the sea, or one of the other Titans, go find them, kind of like Kratos does in God of War, and defeat them. I think that that would have been awesome. And if you were this powered up, it would have made it a little bit easier, and it just would have been like really awesome, because here you are having fun and challenging yourself to get stronger. So I think that that's what they should have done. Instead, they went with the grind, and the grind is boring. A lot of RPG games have grinds, but Ubisoft really took the cake here, and it was terrible. I don't mind RPG elements in my video games, and I certainly don't mind grinding out for XP. I've been doing that since classic gaming, and I've loved every minute of it. But the thing is that in these classic games, I decide how I want to grind, when I want to grind, how much I want to grind. And, there is some elements where we do have to grind purposely just to be able to defeat a certain boss. You can't be level 1 and hope to defeat a boss that's level 20. That's obvious. But the thing is that in these games, classic RPGs especially, they give you the opportunity to grind the way you want. You're able to go into it in your own way. You're not forced into doing stuff, and that's the problem that right now Ubisoft has with Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's way too grindy. And sadly, the whole reason for that is because they want to make some extra money on all those, boosters, the XP and the Drachmae boosters. I'm pretty sure we're going to see that in the next game. And it really shouldn't be there because it ruins the game. Why should I need a boost to get to the next level and cut my time down in half when you just shouldn't be doing that? Now, overall, I had a lot of fun with this game. I really did. It was pretty extensive. And on the first playthrough, going through all these lands and whatnot, making sure that I hit every single thing, that I did every single, objective and location, and, like just all these exclamation points and everything, the first go around, it really, really was kind of wild. It was a lot to do. And the crazy thing was, though, that even if you did it all, you still did not max out. You didn't. You just did not max out. And that was kind of concerning. So in order to actually max out, what I did was I ended up doing another playthrough. I did a New Game Plus before the Legacy of the Hidden Blade DLC came out, and then I played that. But the thing is that there is only so many bounties and contracts and everything that you can do in order to really, really get through this game. And that was where a lot of the pain and suffering of actually grinding came in. Hopefully in the next game they don't do that. Like I said, it was just too much. It really was. And hopefully in the next game, I would love to see that we can gain infinite ability points and infinite XP and actually do something with it. Namely, use all that in order to just gain other things, to increase what we're doing, to make us even more powerful than we were before. Because in some cases, that's a lot of fun. It may not be fun to you. You may get bored real easy. It all depends on your gameplay. Some people feel very accomplished with the minimum. And that's good too. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong. And strongly I suggest, and I've always suggested this, that when you play these sorts of games, if a glitch does come out for XP, make sure that you're well ahead of the curve before you start doing the glitch. If you're doing the glitch from level 1, you're missing out on a lot of stuff, namely learning how to play the game. And then the other thing that you're losing out, as a lot of people have said, they lost the ability to gain certain engravings that were level based because you just skipped so many levels. So, you know, you lose out on some of that. In fact, there was a question that I had on a video the other day where somebody said that they don't have the same engraving that a friend has, and they pretty much have all the same gear. So I'm pretty sure that that was because the person, you know, like used a hack or something. Or maybe they don't even know that they have the same gear. Maybe they're, you know, one has an extra piece and the other one doesn't. We don't know. But you know, those are factors that you have to look at. Anyway, like I said, I really hope that in the next one they actually do that. I did enjoy the game, even though like some things didn't make sense. I did enjoy it, and I did enjoy the grind. I don't mind the grind. Once it got higher level, once they increased it, the max level though, that's when the grind started getting crazy. Because of course they wanted to keep you in the game. They wanted to keep you playing. And you know, that becomes such a pain. So anyway, let me know in the comments, what do you think? Do you think that the grind was okay? Do you think that it was just way too much? Do you think that it would have been a better idea had they actually used the same methodology that they used in Assassin's Creed Origins, where you could just continuously put your ability points into like all these masteries? Or do you think that there should have been a limit to the masteries? Otherwise, you'd be too OP. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear in the comments below. Let's debate this. Let me know what's going on. Anyway, other than that, I really do hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. It helps the channel out an awful lot. And as always, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. Until the next one, be good.